Under boughs and gold canaries, branches reaching for their kin, wishfully I sigh and tarry, waiting for your merry grin. Colours jive across the sky as heavens shake their golden plumes at candy clouds and passers-by. The only missing thing is you. This is the start of a poem I wrote when I was still a young girl. I remember it vividly. I was waiting for my friend Esme in the park after school. It was a Friday. My family had just relocated here in Midsmouth. She was the first friend I made at that school earlier the same week. Making friends makes a new place feel like home a whole lot faster. Esme invited me to the park. I got there first, so I sat by a tree and waited. Oh, how I waited. So much time had passed, I thought she was never going to show up. I almost missed the last bus home later that evening. But just when I thought about dusting off my skirt and leaving, Esme came running up the park hill with that big toothy smile of hers. It turned out she was busy preparing a picnic basket, one rife with goodies, and a thermos of piping hot Earl Grey. That was the best day of my life. That tree became our tree. That park, our park. But what really made that day special was when I showed the poem to Esme. She cried until her cheeks glistened. I feared I made her feel guilty about being late, but she said they were tears of joy. Despite all the poem's flaws, Esme practically begged me to write more. So I did. That memory shaped who I was to become. We stayed friends after school, but eventually she had to move. You know how life is. It likes to whisk your dearest friends to the most remote of places. But what luck! Esme is visiting again. Oh, we haven't seen each other in an age. I would love nothing more than to swing the door to my tea shop wide open when she arrives. Oh, we will reminisce for hours, I'm sure. Ah, another lovely day.
Ah! I will choke that little bogey.
Goodness! Well, that is quite the entrance.
Sorry, miss. Can I stay here for a bit?
Of course. Would you like me to brew you some tea while you wait? Tea works wonders for passing the time.
No, sorry. I'm not a tea kind of girl.
Say, would you care to talk about what's troubling you?
Nothing's troubling me.
The young woman seemed hesitant to speak freely. Whatever she is going through feels personal, or even embarrassing.
Right. In any case, you're welcome to stay here as long as you like.
Thank you, miss.
Have I not seen you before?
Maybe you have. I run around the neighbourhood every morning. My name's Cassie. Cassie Bones. I pass by this street a lot, but I haven't been in here before.
Nice to meet you. I'm Meadows, or Matilda if you like. And I get it. Not a tea kind of girl. You'll hear no judgment from me. I wasn't always into tea either. My schoolmate at the time, Esme, poured me some. I remember it was quite chilly. One cup was just the thing I needed. I've been on the stuff ever since.
And now you run this place. After all that time, huh? That's some serious commitment.
Friends can have that effect on us. We are shaped by the experiences we have with other people. I can't imagine I'd be here talking to you if it weren't for her.
I think so too. What I call me is just the result of all the friendships I've had. Someone famous said that, I think.
David Hume. And you were close. He thought we are the sum of our experiences. Immanuel Kant, another philosopher, disagreed with that notion. He thought that we are more than that, because there are things we can know innately without ever experiencing them.
Like what?
We can sort of figure out on our own what 2 times 2 is.
And I thought I paid attention in school. It's my little brother Carlos.
Pardon?
The reason I'm hiding here. He's caught something from school, a nasty cold or something. And now he's like a sneeze machine.
You left the poor boy at home?
He's like 13, he's gonna be fine. Besides, my mum's there too. This is like the worst possible time for me to get sick.
Oh, have you got an essay coming up?
No, I go to LIPA. Heard of them? The League of Excellence in Athletics and Performing Arts?
No, what is that?
LIPA, it's a government-run program. It started 10 years ago, I think. They take note of school kids with athletic potential. They then offer these kids scholarships and training programs so they can compete both on a national and international scale. You can even join a LIPA program whilst attending college, so you get the best of both worlds. I used to run track back in high school, and LIPA offered me a fully paid training program. They got us in touch with genuine athletes and trained by industry professionals. Not to mention a monthly stipend.
That's lovely.
It is. I can't believe I'm running for a living. I couldn't feel more alive. But we have a big milestone coming up soon. If I catch a cold now, well, at best I'll have to wait for the next milestone. I'd be months behind everyone else.
I see.
I don't know what to do.
You know, no pressure at all, but not all tea is, well, tea. Ginger is incredible for your immune system. Seeing as you run for a living, it's also great for muscle soreness. Plus, it has a nice little burn to it, of which I'm quite fond. Would you care for some? It's on me.
I don't want to impose.
come now. If I was trying to make a fortune, I wouldn't be running a tea shop.
Well, if you're sure. I'd like some ginger tea, please, and thank you.
Your tea is ready.
Holy, this burns! But in a good way.
That's part of its appeal.
Still, I can't believe I never had this before. Thank you, miss.
Any time, love.
Say, those knickknacks you got there look really nice. Where'd you get them from?
Oh, all over. I travelled quite a bit, and I always liked bringing something back as a reminder. Which one caught your eye the most? Let's see if I can recall that folktale. A terrible drought was looming, one that would threaten to drain a great lake. The fishes and the frogs sensed this and began migrating down the river, lest they be trapped. However, the tortoise stubbornly refused to leave, proclaiming, "The lake is my only home, as it was my mother's and her mother before her." Soon the drought came, and the lake was dried and barren. The tortoise burrowed, biding her time, waiting for the drought to end. It just so happened that a Buddhist aspirant was gathering clay nearby. He struck the earth with his spade, accidentally shattering the tortoise's shell. Fatally wounded, the tortoise said with her dying breath, "I wish I had left. I wish I had followed the river with everyone else. But here I lay, broken, in my mother's home and her mother before her." The aspirant took the remains of the tortoise to his followers and shared with them what happened. He hoped they would learn what the tortoise had learned all too late. We have legs, not roots. When life beckons you, you either move on and flourish, or stay put and wilt. Some people believe This is why tortoises and turtles have a shattered pattern on their shells.
I'm sorry. I think there's something in my eye. Give me a minute. You're so cool. I wish I walked in here sooner.
The two spent the rest of the morning in casual conversation. Every so often, the young athlete's laughter would nearly shake the cups off their shelves. Miss Meadows hadn't had a customer like her in quite a while. As Miss Meadows settled in for a quiet evening, there was a gentle knock on her bedroom door.
Come in.
The nurse entered the room with a confident walk and gave Miss Meadows a brief but chilling glare.
How was your day?
Acceptable.
The nurse's face barely moved when she spoke, as if she wore a mask of porcelain.
Your dose, miss.
What was your name again, love?
Plath. Lillian Plath.
Well, nice to meet.
Your dose, miss.
Oh, right. Go on ahead.
We are done.
Thank you, dear. Fancy some tea for your trouble?
No.
Well, I hope you change your mind someday. I have quite a wide selection and...
What is all this?
The nurse was pointing at a journal and a pile of papers on Miss Meadows' desk, full of scribbles and ink stains.
This? Oh, this is where I write.
Right, what?
Oh, it's just an old hobby of mine. I like writing poetry, you see.
Ah.
I wouldn't dare say I'm good at it, but I enjoy it nonetheless. I got my first one framed by the staircase. It has great sentimental value to me.
I have to go.
Oh, do take care, and thank you. I should go to bed now.
That night, Miss Meadows had a dream. It felt so tangible and slow, as if the air were thick as honey. In that dream, she navigated a dreamscape facsimile of her own home. Suddenly, she was confronted by an aberrant stranger. The stranger had no distinguishing feature, which in itself is not odd. However, it had no face. From hair to chin, it was bare as smoothed marble. Paralyzed with fear, Miss Meadows could do nothing but stare. And the featureless stranger stared back. The distress of this faceless horror shook Miss Meadows wide awake. As she woke, her dream did that cunning thing all dreams do, and made itself forgotten. By the time Miss Meadows was wide awake and out of her bed, the dream was gone, and the stranger with it.
Remember how Esme encouraged me to write after I showed her my first poem? She helped me overcome my fear of showing my writing to others. I started writing more poetry, then got into prose, and not long after school, I became a news columnist. My old typewriter stood around here somewhere. At first, I only did local news, nothing too important. Then I went national and lived in London for a while. There, I wrote the exposé of the decade. That news story I broke is still talked about today. I'm so proud of it, I got it framed on my wall. One success led to another, and soon enough, I was sent to report on events across the world. I remember every city I've been to. All that because I waited for her on that Friday at the park. Someone else might have gotten fed up and left, or gone to bed quite sour about being stood up. But I think it helped temper me into the patient woman I am today. Esme was right back then. The good things in life are worth waiting for.
Miss Meadows was used to customers walking right in and hearing that bell jingle as they do. What she did not expect to hear, however, was a knock.
Is that knocking? That's odd. It's open. Come in.
You all right?
Welcome, young man. You didn't have to knock. The sign did say open.
But, miss, your business looks so much like a home, I felt it too bold to just waltz in.
How perceptive of you. It is my house. I just turned this floor into a tea shop is all. I thought people might find it more relaxing that way.
It certainly is. Nevertheless, I shall treat your proprietary space as if I were a guest in your good abode.
By all means. Are you sure you don't want to put down your backpack?
Backpack is not quite the term. The bulk of the young man's baggage peeked over his head like a jagged mountain looming over a mustachioed hill. Man-sized freight is perhaps more appropriate.
No need. I got quite used to it. Though, I will be sitting down, so that my luggage no longer tries to introduce me to the floor.
As long as you're comfortable. Tea?
Yes, please. Earl Grey. Extra strong.
Coming right up. Here we are.
Much obliged.
The bespectacled man made no effort to hide the wave of relief and contentment that washed over him as he took a long sip.
This is simply splendid. I haven't had tea this good since my trip to Kulukumalai.
Oh my, you've been to Kulukumalai too?
Have I ever? The region of Kerala was where I did my seminal paper on Langur ethology.
What's a langur?
Oh, right. They're a species of monkey native to the Indian subcontinent. Very graceful. They can leap great distances and possess a rather long tail. just a good hike from the renowned tea farms. Those playful creatures would huddle together at sundown and spend the night grooming one another atop the canopy. But come morning, they go into a feeding frenzy where they spread out over the blue-speckled Nilgiri hills. Langurs avoid each other during the day, for competition over fruit could be so fierce it stands a good chance of escalating to a full-blown brawls. As if they hadn't been cozying up to each other just the last evening, and would have done so again every night. I imagine, looking at this behavior from above in a time-lapse manner, it would look like as if the hills were breathing monkeys.
The man was simply transported. Miss Meadows was amused by his infectious passion.
You paint a very vivid picture, Mr.
Adam Oleander, PhD. Dr. Adam Oleander.
Apologies. I will address you properly then. Doctor.
That's kind of you. It's a useful thing to have in an emergency. If the emergency involved a charging gorilla or thieving baboons.
My goodness, you're a riot, Doctor.
Forgive my rudeness, Miss
Meadows.
Miss Meadows. I recall you suddenly adding a 2 to your Kulukumalai inquiry. Have you visited?
Oh, it was a long time ago. I was reporting on tea farms there. I was a journalist, you see.
I am in the presence of an esteemed truth seeker then, and a woman with taste to boot.
Oh, how sweet of you. Kulukumalai is where I source my tippy golden first grade leaves. They are simply incomparable.
I had a sense this was a pot of bergamot-infused TG-FOP1. Truly remarkable. If only more tea shops around here were so committed to quality.
Well, you are always welcome here, Doctor.
I am overjoyed to hear that. However, I'm not staying long, I'm afraid. I'm only staying in England for another week or so. Conferences and so on.
Oh, I used to love conferences. Getting a press badge made me feel special.
Kin in knowledge we are. Did you find journalism rewarding?
Oh, was it ever? I struggled at the start, for sure. There was an expectation in that industry to comply with certain messaging, shall we say. Unfortunately for them, I never liked being told what to do. I was even fired for it once.
Goodness.
But then I made my big break. It was validating to see that holding on to my principles, painful as it was worth it.
And what principles are those?
The truth must be revealed exactly as you find it, without embellishments for anyone's benefit.
With that, I must concur. Some members of the scientific community were found accused of misconduct, similar to what you say you were expected to commit. They are desperate enough for accolades that they fake data or twist it to serve their needs. It causes more harm than good. Pure selfishness is what it comes down to.
Precisely.
But please, continue. How does your career relate to your journey with tea?
Well, After my big news story, you see, I was getting requests to cover news all over the Isles, and later on, the rest of the world. That's how I got to know tea so intimately, by flying around and trying all sorts.
I have no doubt you did us all proud.
Oh, that's sweet of you to say, Doctor. Say, the conference you're here for, what's it about anyway?
Oh, that? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. You'll think I'm having a laugh.
No, please, go on. I won't.
Well, if you insist. I am here to attend a conference on recent discoveries on type 2 diabetes. In domesticated fauna.
A scientist conference here in Midsmouth? That makes me so happy. This town is a lot more lively now than back in my day.
It's not very often that my career brings me to this part of the country. And I am glad it did.
Pardon me for asking, but your research seemed more focused on wild animals rather than pets.
Keen of you to notice. You see, I'm not so much interested in pet diabetes myself, heartbreaking as it is. But if you must know, I do have ulterior motives.
What do you mean?
You see, the board at my institute will be attending. Loath I am to admit, those jackanapes get the final say on which research team gets funding, and how much. A big say, that is. And they don't seem to find my kind of research quite so fashionable as to deserve any more funding.
Oh, well, I'm sorry they're giving you trouble.
No, it's quite all right. This is not the first time they block my funding, and it will not be the last. My attendance at this conference is precisely because I wish to persuade them to reconsider. It worked before, and it will again.
I admire your enthusiasm.
Besides, the world's not got much to lose if I don't get my funding. People's lives don't get any better for having known the circadian rhythm of lowland gorillas, or the play habits of young capuchins.
Miss Meadows sighed empathetically. She could hear the man's passion for what he does being stifled by something deeper. The awkward silence clung to the walls like mold. Miss Meadows knew she had to do something.
In that case, you should really give it to them. Be assertive.
Huh.
They represent a funding body for research. You are a researcher. By all rights, that money is yours.
I see where you're coming from, but these matters require a bit of delicacy. If they reject my proposal this time, there's nothing I can do.
Then make your proposal very difficult to reject. From what I hear, you put yourself in a great deal of danger to document your discoveries. You put blood and sweat into a pursuit you deeply care about. Make that passion plainly visible, the same way you did telling me about your work just now. They can't say no to that, assuming they're not pocketing that money for themselves.
No, they wouldn't. But you're right. I will consider your approach.
Well, Doctor, The way I see it, were it not for your research, you and I would not be having this delightful conversation. And if I still had it in me to travel, I would have loved to join you on your expeditions. See? That's one old person's life you've made better already.
Oh, miss. You're far too kind. I've been meaning to ask. You have quite the menagerie gathered on that shelf back there.
These are my little treasures. Do any of them stand out to you in particular? Or I was given these as a gift from a kind family I stayed with in Posadas. I was there looking into an important lead on a news story I was writing. One time, their little daughter asked me what I was doing. I told her I was writing the news. With wide eyes, she pointed at a newspaper on the table and asked if I meant that. I said yes. Oh, she was so excited to know more. I was asked so many questions, I couldn't get anything done that day. But I loved her enthusiasm and enjoyed sating her curiosity. She brought over some sherba and we drank it together from the same mate, the gourd cup. It was a strange experience at first, sharing a straw with someone, but it meant a lot to her. I got used to it, eventually. For the rest of our stay, she would sit with me while I wrote and played with my typewriter whenever I wasn't looking. Before I left, she offered me her mate to take home with me, and I thought it was the sweetest gesture. I'd already bought a mate before, but I simply couldn't turn her down, so I ended up with two. Even though these two objects are identical, one of them is that much more significant, simply because of the memories that come with it.
That is simply adorable. I hope she followed in your footsteps, miss. Ah, this makes me want to start a collection of my own.
The two enjoyed each other's company over tea for a good while. It wasn't until near sundown when the scientist decided to take his leave. Miss Meadows closed shop and went to her room for the evening. The stern-looking nurse had not said a word since her timely arrival. She wore the same expressionless face like it was part of her uniform. But Miss Meadows would not be so easily deterred. She was determined to be her friend.
So, how was your day?
Fine.
That's nice. I had an interesting day myself. Curious young man stopped by for tea. Quite an avid scientist he is.
Is he?
My, yes. He studied Langur behavior. Monkeys that fight during the day and snuggle together at night. And they happen to live quite close to one of the world's most famous tea farms.
Okay.
The nurse's lack of interest could preserve perishables. Miss Meadows rallied, however. She was not going to let the young lady get away with being broody 2 nights in a row.
See, you're the artistic type, aren't you? I've got a feeling you express yourself through some medium, yes?
I did.
Not anymore?
No. I practiced the violin, but I grew out of it.
They say it's like riding a bicycle, playing music. You never forget how to do it. Is that true?
I wouldn't know. I never got back to it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your dose, miss. I'll be back tomorrow.
Another night, and Miss Meadows had to admit defeat. Cracking that egg will take more than just casual conversation. The old lady wondered to herself why she was so determined to get the nurse to be more sociable. Did she miss the previous nurse, who was much chattier? Did she feel the current nurse's guardedness was her own fault somehow? Or did she feel lonely at night when customers were not there to keep her company? Somewhere, out in the night, low heels stomped away on a damp pavement. After sitting in silence for a brief time, Miss Meadows decided to get back to writing her poem.
There are perks to living as long as I have. One such perk is that you get to be a living witness to many events, both great and terrible. School children would be yawning through history class, but to you, it's not history. How could it be? You were there. A living, moving collage in your head. One you get to relive with verisimilitude, real as the day it happened. Some say longing for the old days holds you back. That nostalgia keeps you looking backwards and denies you the joy of living in the moment. Like eyes glued to a television, missing out on all the life going on outside the window. As if such a thing would be an act of sacrilege to those older and thereby worthier memories. But I much rather think I've seen plenty. I've earned a bit of telly time.
Miss Meadows felt energized this morning. The arrival of her dearest friend, Esme, was drawing near. She swept the floors, tidied the tables, and was ready for a new day. And what better way to start one than with a fond and familiar face?
Morning, Matilda.
Oh, Ollie, you all right?
Yeah, you?
I'm all right. You know, I was wondering when you would stop by. I haven't seen you in a month or so.
Sorry about that. You know, kids, grandkids.
Oh, yeah. How's Aisha?
Wears me out still. Hard to believe she's turning 20 soon.
Well, you knew what you signed up for, having another kid that late, Ollie?
I know.
Their mutual laughter had a warmth to it, like a comforting memory. They knew each other better than any two friends could.
What's new with you?
Well, you know, Esme's coming to Midsmouth for a visit. Oh, it'll be lovely to catch up.
Esme's coming?
Yes.
Did she call you?
As a matter of fact, she did. Shortly after you left last week, she said she's staying for a month, visiting family. What's wrong, Ollie? I thought you two were close as well.
Oh, it's nothing.
The old man dodged the question with little finesse. She recalled that Ollie had an awkwardness about the subject ever since Esme got that job overseas. Thinking better of the matter, Miss Meadows decided to drop it.
Would you like the usual?
Oh, yes, please.
Green tea coming up.
My goodness, Matilda.
Oliver smiled widely after his first sip. Miss Meadows could see his tensions melting away.
Nobody makes it like you do. So, what's new with you?
I'm writing another one. Oh, I think you'll like it.
Are you? That's brilliant. Your last poem was really thought-provoking.
To look in a mirror? Oh, I don't know what you liked in that one. When I was done with it, it took all I had not to scrap it. But you insisted that I didn't.
I couldn't let you. That poem was a gem. You touched on introspection, a subject that's dear to me. The most sincere kind of growth only comes from acknowledging what we see in our reflection. You made the abstract tangible, a mirror, a bit on the nose, but so understated.
Oh, don't remind me.
Come on now, you said it yourself. You can look away, or you can confront what you see. We tend to be so focused on surviving the outside that we forget to look within. Your inner self is a child. Neglected, it becomes unrecognizable. If you look in the mirror and see someone else looking back, know that it is still you, warped by years of inaction. That's what you wrote, isn't it? Blunt as it was, how could that poem not move me?
Miss Meadows tried not to smile too brightly. She would not admit it, but she enjoyed being quoted from time to time.
Oh, Oliver, you're too kind.
So, tell me, what's your next poem going to be about?
I decided to get my inspiration for this one directly from people who come here to my shop. You should have met the interesting people who came in the last few days, Oliver.
Oh yeah,
Well, there weren't that many customers, if I'm being honest. But the ones who came by were quite distinct. One was an aspiring athlete, the other a scientist.
a scientist here in Midsmouth?
That's what I said.
What sort of scientist?
He said he was an entomologist.
Bugs?
What? No, apes.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, I'm sure that's what he said.
Entomology is bug science, Matilda.
All right, all right. Oh, he was a chatty fellow. I wish you two could meet.
Me too. It'd give me a chance to know what he really does for a living.
Ollie.
Ha ha ha. Sorry. Go on.
Well, anyway, he was interesting. And so was she, the athlete. I felt I could learn a lot just listening to them talk about their lives. And they love what they do. I find people like that inspiring.
You're pulling out all the stops now, aren't you?
I am. I feel like I have to.
What do you mean?
Well, let's be real, Oliver. I'm not getting any younger.
Oliver looked like he was going to contest that statement. To say she's wrong, to laugh it off, to proclaim she's got plenty more left in her. A conversation they've had many times over. Instead, he decided to take her mind off of that grim tangent.
Does your new poem have a title yet?
No, I've yet to come up with one.
Well, you better finish it, because I want to be the first to read it.
Meadows' gloom ceded to the warmth of gratitude.
You most certainly will be.
She hoped the conversation would organically return to the subject of Esme, but it never came to be. Next time, she told herself. For now, she simply enjoyed Oliver's company, as she had when they first met, many years ago. This evening, the nurse looked less tense. Miss Meadows decided to seize this opportunity to chisel away at the ice wall once more.
Thank you for coming in so often. I hope it's not out of the way for you.
It is not. I live nearby.
Well, that's good. You're welcome in my tea shop.
I don't like tea.
You know, I had a customer the other day who said the same thing. She was this young woman, no more than college age. If souls emitted light, hers would be glowing like a star. She said she was not a tea kind of girl, but I changed her mind. Mind you, I cheated. I gave her ginger, which isn't really tea. But a win is a win, I suppose. Anyway, you can't knock tea until you try it. And don't judge tea by the dust bags they sell in grocery stores. They're the lowest quality you can get. You've got to try the real thing.
Miss, I have had real tea before. It's not for me. Do you want your meds now?
All right.
Plath gave Miss Meadows a long once-over, head to toes. Before Miss Meadows could ask what it was about, the nurse was already leaving without a word.
Years ago, I remember looking in the mirror and barely recognizing myself. "Is this me now?" asked a confused voice in my head, quite loudly. You don't see the creases on your face slowly settling in. They get the jump on you. In a way, they're a welcome change once you get used to them. Some say the crow's feet are signs of having cultivated profound wisdom. But I've met plenty of fools my age. Wrinkles are not a sign of wisdom. They only signify that you had a chance to stop being a fool. Whether or not you did is another matter, revealed only when you open your mouth to speak. Besides, what good is wisdom? You can make anything sound wise if you phrase it right. I'm doing it right now. But no, not me. I'd much rather be kind than wise.
The pang of melancholy brought about by Miss Meadows' reflections this morning lingered in her mind like an unwelcome guest. It didn't help that the few customers that came and went were all in a rush to go about their day, and not one was in a talkative mood. That was until a jolly, mustachioed face burst through the tea shop door.
Miss Meadows.
Oh, Doctor! Good to see you again. You seem to be in a good mood.
Am I ever? You'll never guess what happened.
You got the grant!
I got the grant. Those stuffy bureaucrats never knew what hit him. I marched right up to the head of grants, one Mr. Huxley, and demanded my due. I rattled off my accomplishments and reminded him what a loss to the scientific community his folly would cost. By the end of it, he was speechless. But my heart sank when security came.
Oh my!
He stopped them and said there was nothing for them to worry about. He was apparently moved by my passion. He then promised to wire the funds to my team. I still have to send in my official proposal, but I'm confident it will go through this time.
That's marvelous! Oh, well, congratulations. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, miss. It was a hard-fought battle. Ah, what a joy it is! I get to continue my research again.
What about the conference? Wasn't it about...
Oh, yes, the conference. Fascinating stuff, yes.
Miss Meadows felt something was not quite right. The man seemed perturbed for someone celebrating a great success. Determined that the doctor may be hiding something, Miss Meadows gently prodded the topic.
Are you looking forward to your next expedition?
Of course I am.
Where will it take you?
Well, given the success of my recent publications on primate behavior, I decided to continue further down that line. Next, baboons.
Oh my, aren't they dangerous?
Normally, yes. Vicious little creatures have canines nearly 2 inches long, and they are not afraid to use them. But not this troop of baboons I found. They are a treasure trove of novel animal behavior, very different.
How so?
To put it simply, baboons exemplify the survival of the fittest slogan. The big, strong male gets all the females. However, a recent unintended consequence of human intervention led to a radical change in their lifestyle. You see, in a nearby town, regular folk received a large stock of meat that was found to be contaminated, unfit for consumption. They delegated its disposal to a truck driver who dumped the whole pile in the savannah. I thought hyenas might come running, so I hid. These baboons found it first, however. Because of the nature of their hierarchy, the biggest ones take all. Only they got to eat from the meat, and they guarded it fiercely, even after they were full.
Sounds like old-fashioned greed to me.
It was, but that was also their downfall. The bullies suffered agonizing symptoms from intestinal infection and died quickly. The remainder of the troop were too suspicious of the meat to approach it by then.
They could tell.
Oh my, yes. Don't let their antics fool you. Apes are quite smart. Relatively speaking, of course. Most other animals, save for corvids maybe, would have been next in line at the death buffet. But let me get to the exciting part. With the death of the big burly apes, the troop's hierarchy had been dismantled. Not only was there a notable reduction in infighting, but their rudimentary community became much more monogamous. Over the course of the year I'd watched them, they were the most cooperative, least combative apes I'd ever seen. Isn't that something?
Oh my, that sounds dangerous.
It is. I would not recommend observing animals in the wild without safety precautions in place. I admit, early in my career, I had an embarrassing Snow White complex. I thought animals were naturally drawn to me. It took a few first-hand experiences to realize that was not the case at all. Such is the way of things, I suppose. Learning the hard way, we are humbled.
Oh, where are my manners? I'm very sorry, Doctor. I was so taken by this conversation, I almost forgot I ran a tea shop. Would you like some Earl Grey again?
Oh, not this time. I must say, arguing with the people at the conference has still left me quite anxious. I would really like something to calm my nerves, if you've got such a thing. Floral, preferably, but more bitter than sweet.
Coming right up, Doctor.
Strong floral, but is this lavender?
It is. I love lavender tea. You were hoping for something floral, and I thought it was the perfect fit.
It's quite nice, thank you.
The doctor's eyes wandered to the far wall, adorned with knickknacks from across the world.
Would you mind if I asked you a question?
Not at all.
You seem like a well-travelled woman.
Being a journalist took me places, certainly.
Do you regret it?
Why do you ask?
Well, you see, I love what I do, truly. A dream come true and all that faff. Not many could claim to have been a few inches away from a snow leopard in the wild and survive to tell about it. However, I must admit, I sometimes wonder what my life would have been like if I had instead, you know, settled down. Wake up, commute to work, earn an honest crust. Do my part for society, then be home for supper. Never worrying about missing a connecting flight, forgetting equipment at the hotel, or getting bitten by a black mamba. I love what I do. I feel free as a bird. But what if I'm a tree? Trees have no business being airborne.
You crave stability, then?
Well, maybe. I'm not quite sure what I want. On one hand, there is something comforting about familiarity, routine, like an old friend. But on the other hand, I feel I wouldn't be as interesting if I had stayed in one place. Being a citizen of the world, I have seen more of our pretty blue marble than most of my peers ever could if they had a whole year's worth of vacations.
And being interesting is something that matters to you.
Of course, I would hate to be a bore. I would hate to tell the same old stories to the same old people who are there to see it for themselves anyway. Meaning no offense, of course.
None taken. I hadn't taken you for the sort of person who had put much stock in how he was perceived by others. Not that that's inherently bad. I travelled a lot because my job in the press necessitated it, but I took that job to begin with for a purely selfish motive. I wanted to see the world, all of it, with my own eyes, or as much as I could at least. The places I'd been, the people I'd met, the memories I still carry with me. It was worth it just for that. Being able to talk about it with equally well-travelled people such as yourself is a nice bonus. So no, Doctor, I do not regret the years I spent travelling. And I hope you don't either.
You have given me much to digest, madam. Say, tell me more about those memorabilia you've got over there.
Which one do you want to know about this time? I got this in Hangzhou, China. I got lost there, and suddenly I was startled by a stray dog. I froze. I didn't know what to do. Then a boy came by, no older than 10, holding a stick. He waved it at the dog and shooed it away. He looked at me, wearing a look of pride on his face, and beckoned me to follow. He must have sensed I was in distress because he took me to a tea shop run by his parents. Oh, they were so nice. Made me a pot of Dragonwell, a local green tea variety. The tea itself was heavenly. But what really stood out to me was the teapot itself. I don't think I'd ever seen cast iron teapots before, and this one in particular was quite striking in its intricate and symmetrical design. I asked if I could buy it from them, and to my surprise, they offered to let me have it free of charge. Whenever I could find tea, I always found generosity and kindness as well.
That boy sounds like he's going to grow up to be quite reliable. His handling of the situation was pretty clever too. I would have communicated with the dog using body language, but that's just me. I'm joking, of course. Well, I must be off. A pleasure as always, miss.
The scientist's departure was bittersweet. It felt like there was something left unsaid. Miss Meadows hoped he would come back again. Nurse Plath came in on cue. To Miss Meadows' utter lack of surprise, she did not say so much as a hello. Without much pomp or circumstance, she got right to work. Miss Meadows thought to herself, the poor woman must have had a bad day. She couldn't let her go without at least some light conversation.
You know that young gentleman I told you about?
Monkeys, yes.
Yes, him. Anyway, he had some trouble with his science grant. People he worked for wouldn't give him the money he needed, so he fought to get it back. And he did. Good man. I'm so happy for him. You ask me, those bosses of his might be keeping some of those science funds for themselves. If I still had it in me, I'd look into them myself. Show them some well-deserved comeuppance. I used to be a journalist, you know.
The nurse said nothing, but an audible low-register scraping could be heard from her direction. She was clenching her jaw, teeth grinding like cogs in an old clock tower.
You all right, love?
Suddenly, the nurse left in a hurry.
Goodness, I wonder what got her worked up. This morning, a familiar dream shook me wide awake. Funnily, it was about school. I heard the top cause of recurring nightmares is primary education, globally. Used to be that war caused the most bad dreams, but I suppose we live in such peaceful times that school is the next worst thing. Anyway, in this dream, Esme and I got singled out by Mrs. O'Hare. She had us do a quiz with burlap sacks over our heads so that we could barely see the questions. When I took the sack off my head and tried to confront Miss O'Hare, all I saw was that faceless head. The featureless stranger staring back. I'd forgotten all about that face. I knew I'd seen it before. Did I? Oh, nobody liked Mrs. O'Hare. She was vindictive, the kind of teacher even parents feared. Still, when I heard she'd passed away, I went to her funeral. Her family was exceptionally kind. We're still in touch. It got me thinking, how can someone so cruel come from such a nurturing background? Or maybe they weren't so nice until it was too late. It's easier to apologize to an open coffin. I do dislike funerals. Someday, I hope mine won't be so inconvenient to those attending. The last thing I want is to be a burden.
Miss Meadows' morning was dull and grey, like the taut hairs on her old teacher's head in that wretched dream. But a sight outside her shop put her in a much better mood in an instant.
Morning, Matilda.
Ollie! Back so soon! I normally have to wait weeks for a visit.
What can I say? You've got me hooked on good tea. Truth is, now that my kids and grandkids are less dependent, I find myself with a lot more free time than I know what to do with.
You'd been a good presence in their lives. You could do with a bit of a break. Tea?
Yes, please.
The usual?
No, not green tea this time. I'd like something different.
What do you have in mind?
I'm thinking fresh, zesty. Between you and me, I've been feeling a little queasy. Must be the curry I had last night.
I think I can get you just the thing you need.
Ooh, minty.
As the joyful flavour of mint filled his mouth, the kind-eyed elderly gentleman wore a wide, bright smile.
A lot of antacids have mint in them. I should have guessed you'd make this.
I knew it would come in handy eventually.
Oh, you did now.
Not the first time you'd come in complaining about curry, is it?
So, anything new?
Have I told you about my visiting nurse?
Helen? What about her?
No, Helen left last week. This is a new one. Lillian is her name.
Yeah?
Well, she seems to know what she's doing. But she's quite unsociable. Barely says a word.
Maybe she's just shy.
I thought so too at first. It's been a few days now, though. I think she just doesn't like me.
You know people don't have to like you, Matilda. Remember Beatrice?
Oh, Beatrice. She always avoided me back at the agency. You told me not to take it personally.
That's right. You asked her to help you with the Henry Whitmore case. She didn't. Did she?
You're right. Oh, it would have been so nice to work together. How is she anyway?
Last I heard, she had a stroke, staying with her son.
Gosh, that's terrible. Oh, poor Beatrice.
I sympathize as well, but that's besides the point. That nurse is just another Beatrice. You've got to move on.
What if I've done something to upset her?
Like what?
Well, what if I'd met her before and didn't recognize her?
That may be so, but if you did, she would have at least made an effort to remind you. It's fine, Matilda. It's her problem, not yours.
You know, you're right. I'll just forget about her for now.
That's the right attitude. The same advice I gave to my youngest.
Aisha?
That's her. I told Aisha, if someone likes you, one human being to another, they will not hide it. People are like the wind. Chase them, and you end up with a fistful of air. Let them come to you, and they will fill your sails.
Oh, who's the poet now? Has Aisha had similar trouble at school?
Yes, trouble making friends. She's done with school, though. Right now she's at work. Can you believe it?
Goodness, how time flies.
Oh yes, 20 years old. Still behaves like 12, as far as I'm concerned.
Do give her my regards. I hope she'll stop by my shop someday.
She would, but she's in London now. We call from time to time.
Oh, London. She's in for a treat. I wish her the best.
Thank you, and thank you for this tea, as always. Oh, and don't pay that nurse any heed. She's just doing her job. Leave it at that.
Oh, you're right as always, dear friend. Oh, right. Ollie, don't forget. next time you stop by, Esme will be here to join us.
Ollie gave her a laboured smile. Miss Meadows could feel a laden weight behind it. After a pause, he simply smiled and nodded.
See you, Matilda.
She watched the back of her second oldest friend as he left her tea shop. A back that carries so much weight, and yet unbending. As the nurse prepared silently, Miss Meadows contemplated her previous attempts at conversing with her. They mostly revolved around interests, trivialities. The nurse, however, would not budge. She responded with nothing but hums and polite nods. So far, attempts at engaging the nurse in small talk have all been futile, Miss Meadows thought. But what if the nurse was more of a philosophical type?
I was wondering, what is something you think about a lot?
The pondering look on the nurse's face, coupled with the long pause, indicated to Miss Meadows that she hit upon something substantial.
Have you heard of the lone fawn?
No. Please enlighten me.
After this.
You were saying?
First, answer this. Do you think suffering needs to exist?
Well, it is a fact of life, and we're primed to coexist with it. So I think so. In a lot of cases, a little bit of suffering is what we need to learn a harsh life lesson.
Like?
Picture a heartbroken lover whose partner left them for someone else. It's a harsh journey back to normalcy from such a low point. However, they come out of it better equipped to select a partner who's more suited to them, or to treat them nicer than they did the previous one.
I think suffering is only necessary because we cannot conceive of a world without it. Let me ask you something else. If you were given the ability to, would you remake this world so that suffering did not exist?
No, I would not.
Why?
Because suffering can be used for good, like the justice system, for instance. Criminals can be punished, wrongs can be made right.
That makes no sense. Suffering as a corrective measure would not be needed in a world where there was no suffering in the first place. Which brings me to the lone fawn. Go back a few 100,000 years to a forest, A lost young deer gets its foot stuck in a tree branch. No matter how much it struggles, it cannot free itself. Days pass. It's starving and thirsty. Its vocal cords are in shreds, having screamed the entire time. It then dies, emaciated, confused, and in agony. No one came to save it. Nothing offered it relief. For miles around, there are no other animals to even hear its calls or pick up its scent. Humans, as we now know them, did not exist. There were no witnesses to this slow death. No one to learn a lesson from it. The lost fawn problem then asks this. Was this fawn's fate necessary? If the answer was yes, then the world is truly unjust by design, merciless and horrid at its core. It needs we can be maimed, starved, diseased, and it can be utterly meaningless. If the answer was no, then why does it happen? What other purpose could there possibly be to an unwitnessed, unorchestrated, days-long episode of pain and misery? Misery from which no one could benefit or learn anything. The only way this can make sense is that there is no purpose. This, miss, is what I think about a lot.
In the deafening silence that followed, the nurse left.
Last night, I thought about all the times I was uncomfortable and how much I disliked each one. We all experience discomfort to some degree, I think. Life by design demands it, and we're not in a position to say no. Discomfort brought on by obligations, health, or circumstances beyond our control. But that same discomfort propels us forward. In a way, we would be nowhere without it. Animals that are used to the comfort of captivity seldom survive when released back into the wild. And this is because they forget that ever-present anxiety which urges them to stay alert and alive. In an ideal world, we would not need to suffer to succeed. Internal motivation should suffice, and whim alone would be king. But in this not-so-ideal world, endless discomfort is the price we pay for an interesting life. A price I gladly paid.
The woman who walked into Meadows' tea shop this morning was not the one she was anticipating, but a welcome sight nonetheless.
Hello.
Oh, it's so good to see you again. Cassie,
Thanks, miss. You too.
how have you been?
I'm fine. Can I have some tea, please?
Well, that's the kind of change of heart I like to see. What would you like? More of what you had last time?
No, I was wondering if you had something that might help me.
Oh no. Did you catch the cold your brother has?
He got better. It's something else. I can't sleep. I haven't in 2 days. It's killing me.
Goodness. Sorry to hear it, dear.
Whatever you make, please just don't make it too strong or too light. Medium, I guess. As long as it makes me feel sleepier.
Tea is by no means a cure-all, but I think I've got just the thing. Your tea is ready.
Oh my god. I didn't know people had lavender for tea, and it's so good. Bit strong though. I always thought lavender would taste like, I don't know, shampoo or something.
Can't bathe in this, I'm afraid. Although, now that I think about it...
Oh, stop.
Is something troubling you?
Remember what I told you about my training?
Yes, you are being funded by...
Yeah, them. I do track and field so I can join the athletics team for the next Olympics. What's more, Holly Hodgkins is our coach, a former champion. Can you imagine? I used to really look up to her. She's also a LEPA grad. Anyway, a new girl joined us, Gemma. She's this quiet girl, barely says a word. Always wears a beanie. But the crazy thing is, she's a bullet on legs. I can barely keep up. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Sorry, you don't need to hear about my silly problems.
I don't think they're silly at all. Competition is healthy, a good kind of stress. But it can be demotivating sometimes.
That's what I told Coach. I asked her how I could get better numbers. She said, do more jumping jacks. And I have been, way more. I'm not getting any better.
Doesn't it take time to improve?
I know, but usually working out wears me out. So I never had any problems sleeping. Then Gemma joined and I saw how fast she could run and I felt like all my work was for nothing.
And now you've got a rival to worry about. You can't sleep.
Yes.
Well, I had a bit of rivalry myself back in my journalist days. He was already well established by the time I joined the newspaper. His articles had free reign of the front page. Mind you, he wasn't obnoxious about it, but try as I might, I couldn't cut it in my early career. I needed a win, so I started working on a big story, bigger than anything I'd ever written. I had a strong feeling it would make my career, and more importantly, make a difference.
And? Did it?
Patience now. I'm getting to that part. During my field investigation on the big story, who do I spot but him, my rival? He was as hot on the trail as I was. I knew then I couldn't slip up, but I hustled day and night. I found everything I needed to publish a story and got my front page article. When he read it, he came to my desk laughing. He said he'd been working on the same story, but his version had major errors, disproven by the evidence I'd found. Then he thanked me. By beating him to the finish line, I inadvertently also saved his credibility.
That's nice. Do you know where he is now?
We're still friends, actually. He comes here sometimes. Now, I'm sure it's not the same as what you're going through. But I thought listening to an expert at Rivalry might give you hope.
Thanks. What you did for a living sounds exciting.
It had its moments.
And you got a friend out of it.
A good one, too. Having a friend like him was more important to me than the boost to my career. So about your new rival. Why don't you just introduce yourself? In the pursuit of our goals, it's easy to forget the human element. That girl who joined the team and that Olympian coaching you, intimidating as they might be, are just people. A friend of mine used to say, "You're one hello from making a friend."
You're right. I might be overthinking it. Coach always says that competitive sports are just as much a mental thing as they are physical. Maybe this is all part of what she meant. Thank you.
Of course. I envy you, you know.
How so?
I see you running outside, and it makes me miss being able to. It's so freeing.
It really is. Running is, I don't know, cathartic to me. I'm sure you did plenty of it.
I did run a lot in my youth, mainly to catch buses or trains. And to get away from trouble. Bad people don't like having the spotlight on them.
Whoa. Someone came at you for something you wrote?
Well, not them personally. That would have been funny. One time, there was this hired lackey. Black leather jacket and shaved head. He was paid to threaten me.
Was that here?
London. He stalked me for a while, then shoved a letter in my hand. I just smiled and tore it while he watched. I won't deny I was terrified. The threat was real. But his employer was behind bars before he could act on it.
Wow. Not exactly painting a pretty picture of London.
Don't get me wrong. London is lovely. Besides, he found me a year later and apologized. We even had tea together.
With the henchman?
Yes. Gregory's actually quite nice once you get to know him. Anyway, my time in London was special, but I preferred working overseas.
Oh yeah, you sure did.
The young woman looked back at the shelf in the corner, recalling their past conversation about its colourful contents.
You know, part of me wishes so badly for me to get selected for the Olympics coaching program just so I can see other countries. I can't afford to travel. Barely anyone can now. I just hope I make it.
Oh, I'm sure you will make us all proud one day.
Oh yeah, no pressure. But seriously, thank you. I feel better already. Actually, I hope it's okay if I ask for another story from your collection there.
I'd love to share one. Which one do you want to know about? Najib won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1988, and his work was praised for being vivid and nuanced, and yet still ambiguous and dreamy. He was a philosopher before turning to fiction, and he counted Tolstoy among his greatest influences. In Najib's provocative novel, Respected Sir, he was clearly venting his frustrations about living as a civil servant for a great deal of his life. He wrote a rather powerful monologue that stuck with me to this day. There can be no salvation for man but in madness. Madness alone can accommodate both piety and heresy, both glory and shame, love and deceit, honor and fraud. How can a sound mind comprehend, let alone endure, a bizarre life such as this? How can it behold the sparkling of the stars in heaven when it is hopelessly submerged in mud?
The two spent another hour in jovial conversation. Miss Meadows barely felt the time go by. She just wished a certain someone was here to be part of it. Despite the gravity of the last conversation they had, the nurse was beginning to be a bit more responsive to Miss Meadows' attempts at conversation. Her attitude, however, remained glacial as she got to work. As the nurse packed up, Miss Meadows decided to breach her defences with a bold question.
Are you happy?
What?
I mean, are you content with where you are in life?
No.
Oh. Well, I hope you get to be.
Are you?
Me? Happy?
Even though it was Miss Meadows' own question said back to her, it took her with just as much surprise. She asked it again, this time to herself. Is Miss Meadows happy?
I am not happy either. I feel like I could have done so much more. My older relatives warned me when I was young that life passes by in a flash. Life is a full-speed train that stops for no one, they used to say. My younger self hadn't dismissed anything so quickly. She thought they were exaggerating, lending a voice to their regrets. But they were spot on. It all went by before I could blink. Everything I'd done, everything I remember, it feels like it only happened yesterday. I know I've got many years left in me, but even then, I don't think I'm ready. Not until I see her again.
Miss Meadows was absorbed in her own thoughts, but she noticed the nurse's stone face twitch for just an instant. But Miss Meadows recognized it for what it was, a fleeting look of sympathy. A stifling silence settled in, not so different from one that tends to follow the loud clang of a fallen object. It was so stifling, in fact, that the nurse could not stand being in the same room anymore, and left in a hurry.
My, I fell asleep on my desk. I have to pick up the pace. I need to finish this poem, so I can show it to her. So we can laugh again, just like we used to. Remember, Esme?
Miss Meadows stared out of the window of her tea shop intently, hopefully. Any day now. Any day, and Esme would walk right in.
Miss?
She barely noticed the ethologist's soft and quiet entrance, but his greeting shook her out of her trance.
Oh, hello again.
Sorry, I seem to have startled you. Everything all right?
The truth is, Doctor, I'm eager for a certain someone to walk through that door. Not that you're not welcome, of course. I've just been waiting is all.
Must be someone quite important to occupy your mind so much.
She is. Her name is Esme. She's my oldest friend, and she's coming to town. Work took her abroad for a long time, and we haven't had a proper sit-down in ages. I can't wait to meet her again.
That is wholesome. I'm sure she is just as excited to burst right through that door and greet you.
Miss Meadows' smile widened with plain joy at the mere thought. She saw a somber look in the doctor's eyes. That look was utterly unfamiliar to her. She had never seen it in him, or anyone else.
Anyway, what can I get you today, Doctor?
You know you don't have to call me that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The scientist smiled.
I'm in the mood for something light.
Green tea, then.
No, something a bit maltier, but not quite black tea. A tea that's between green and black tea, flavor-wise. I don't know if you have anything like that.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh, and make it strong, please. The strongest you can make it. I can't believe I didn't think of Oolong.
The scientist was flush with contentment. He stared down at his cup with glee, as if grateful for a gift.
And not just any Oolong. Jade Song?
Dark Pearl. It's my favorite.
I'd tip my hat to you if I had one. You truly are a master of your craft. I thought about our last conversation, you know. If what I'm doing with my life is what I really want.
And?
I've made a big decision, but before I tell you about it, let me share with you something that happened to me in my first field study 12 years ago. The place was cold and unforgiving. The people, equally so. I felt out of place, and every question I asked had a coin flip's chance of being met with ridicule or hostility. I never felt so out of place in my whole life.
Did you do anything about it?
I didn't. I was unfamiliar with the concept of being mistreated for being an outsider. Everywhere else, I was met with the baseline respect we owe our fellow people. if not outright friendliness. Not there. The local scout and my personal guide were used to outsiders, so they treated me fine. But everyone else, not so much. But how I responded at the time does not matter. Life is not a theatre, and there is no audience waiting for me to give a quippy comeback. What mattered is that I found that scientific journey, on the whole, so cathartic and rewarding. By the time I flew back home, I had completely forgotten about the bad. I only took the good home. Or so I thought. That sort of thing stays with you, but you learn to look on the bright side. I was accosted by a snow leopard and the locals were unfriendly, but it didn't make a difference back then. I felt like a winner. And reflecting on that, if I'm willing to go through that again just to do what I love, then nothing can stop me. Not a shred of doubt remained in my heart. Until I saw these first white hairs on my head. Am I doing the right thing? Was it all worth it? They made me think. This is why I am glad I met you, Miss, at this exact crossroads in life. I think I love what I do too much to look back now. But it is so tempting to grow roots, make lifelong friends I can meet every week.
Miss Meadows knew exactly what he was about to say. She felt it too in her youth. The call.
The world is just too inviting, and life is far too short. I can't help but feel like I'm giving up something to sustain this lifestyle, this career.
It's worth it, isn't it?
Oh yes, best deal I've ever made.
I suppose we're both nomads at heart.
I don't think I would have hesitated if I were like you. However, you helped me decide.
I did?
Well, after hearing your stories, I decided to look you up. You have had a remarkable career, Miss. Enviable, even. Looking at you now, I don't think you quite understand the impact you've made. Those stolen funds you revealed were in the clutches of a hoarding political dragon. They did not go to waste. They made so many initiatives possible: agricultural, urban, athletic, scientific.
There was a quiver on the ethologist's lips.
Whether this was fated or entirely coincidental is not my place to say, but I am so glad I get to thank you for it. Thank you, Miss.
You had to fight your own battle to get your piece of it.
There wouldn't be any peace to begin with were it not for you. I get to pursue my dream because you pursued yours. I don't imagine that would have been possible had you settled down here instead.
Miss Meadows shook her head.
How can I not be inspired by that? I think back on my recent reflections and realize I owe so much to you, even though we just met.
It's flattering you think so. But I'm of the opinion that only you can truly know your purpose in life. Just like only I could know mine. So rest assured, you owe me nothing. The future is yours. No matter what you decide to do it right.
Sorry, I rambled for a while there. I'm always taken aback by how easy you are to talk to.
Nothing to be sorry for.
You know, there is one thing I will regret once I'm back on the road. Not being able to see you again as frequently as I would like. It's going to be hard to move on, knowing I can't be a regular here.
Well, don't say that. You don't know that for sure. Maybe another conference will bring you along?
I'm afraid not. My next series of assignments will keep me out of the European continent for at least a few years.
I see.
Would you be open to staying in touch? I can write to you.
I'd like that. I would like that very much.
Miss Meadows' heart swelled like a crescendo. She could feel how nostalgic the man is going to be about her shop for years to come. The nurse's arrival this night was quiet as a fox. You couldn't even hear her breathing. She was always distant, but Miss Meadows noticed she was avoiding her eyes more than usual.
Listen, Lillian?
Yes?
About last time. I just feel like I owe you an apology. It was too personal of a question to ask someone.
I know what you are trying to do, miss. But I am only here to give you this. Nothing more.
It has been a little over a week since this new nurse took over from the previous one. Since then, she made Miss Meadows feel all sorts of confusing emotions, but all of them explicable in some way. Tonight, however, an irrational emotion took over Miss Meadows like a swelling wave, one that made no sense to her at all. Fear.
Are we ready?
All right. I'm ready.
The nurse took longer than usual to pack up this time. She was stalling.
I am being replaced.
Huh?
I will not be your nurse anymore. You will not see me again. Goodbye.
To Miss Meadows' surprise, Lillian ran out the door. She left in a hurry. The dim light illuminated her glistening cheeks, wet with tears long held back. Miss Meadows came down the stairs with some difficulty. She was used to her joints being stiff, but they were especially rigid today. Not long after she had enjoyed a cup of her own, did a familiar face appear, or more accurately, barge in. The young woman's boisterous laughter shook the windows.
Someone's in a cheery mood today?
You won't believe what happened. Remember my coach and the new girl?
Was your coach Hodgkins? And Gemma, your new rival?
That's right. You're quite, what's the word? Eidetic, that's it.
Miss Meadows knew what that meant. To you.
Anyway, that's not important. It turned out to be a setup, the whole thing.
What do you mean?
I can't believe I didn't notice. Coach, you're a menace. Coach brought in someone, alright, who was only pretending to be a quiet, shy girl named Gemma. Her real name is Wilma Pavey. The Wilma Pavey. You know, both feet on the ground gets you nowhere. She said that quote in her book. Tenacity, blurring the comfort zone.
I'm sorry, it doesn't ring a bell.
She's a legend. Wilma is a multi-medal triathlete.
A triathlon involves swimming, cycling and running, right?
Spot on. It's the ultimate test of endurance. Anyway, Wilma was in on it the whole time. Coach brought her to show us that we're not as bad as we thought we were. And here's the craziest thing. Before I knew who she was, I took your advice. We're all just people, like you said.
That we are.
So, I walked up to her after training and said, "Hey, great work today." And she's like, "Oh, thank you, you're pretty good yourself."
She went on describing the most mundane conversation. Not between an aspiring athlete and an accomplished one, but between two young women. Weather, favourite protein snack, things of no consequence. Despite the banal nature of that back and forth, she recited it with fervour and passion.
And then I told her that I'm not here to mess around. I'm here for the real thing. I want a real medal framed on my wall. You won't guess what happened. Wilma herself vouched for me to coach. I'm in the Olympics coaching program.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I can hardly believe it still. By the end of the program, I will hopefully represent Britain in both sprints and 4x100 metre relays.
Well, happy days, love. Oh, that's incredible news.
Thank you. I'm still in shock myself. Finding out about this and Wilma, the last couple of days were a roller coaster. I had what it takes and Coach said Wilma told her. She then said, "But having the humility and respect to speak to someone who is there to defeat you, that's a conduct becoming of a real athlete." sportsmanship. Being strong, fast, durable, getting back up when you trip and fall, all that's only half the battle. The other half is never forgetting the person underneath it all. I would have missed that if it weren't for you. Thank you, miss.
Miss Meadows returned a young woman's gratitude with a smile and a deep nod.
You made it this far. You put in the effort. You earned this, love. Plus, working with people you admire and them turning out to be good people too, that's just heartwarming.
Oh, you should have seen the look on my face when Wilma told me who she was.
While laughing at herself, Cassie slapped her own knee and immediately winced in pain.
Ow! Bloody hell!
Are you all right?
Yeah, I scraped my knee this morning and completely forgot about it until just now. Don't worry, I already cleaned and bandaged it. I'm gonna be fine. Still smarts though. Youch!
Or do you want something for the pain?
I took some painkillers. Wait, you don't mean tea, do you?
This one is herbal, floral even, and is really good for easing physical pain.
Alright, if you think so. Whatever it is, just make it a little less strong. Medium.
Your tea is ready.
Is this rose? I can only ever imagine rose as something decorative. You can drink them?
Sure you can. For hundreds of years, people found its floral taste delightful, like a perfume for the soul. Easing pain is a nice little extra.
But rose is a hot drink. I never could have imagined. How did they figure this out?
Well, it's not just tea, you know. Rose water is a common baking ingredient as well. Many desserts around the world have a nice rosy taste for this very reason.
I should tell my mum about this. Did I ever tell you why I run this? Why I do this for a career?
Sure you did. It was, what was it again?
When I was still in primary school, I used to love watching my cartoons on the telly. But this one cartoon I really liked, about baby dinosaurs. It was on national TV just as school finished, and school was a 15-minute walk from home. If I walked home, I missed most of it. So I sprinted, full speed, lungs heaving, little feet stomping on the ground. I went from missing half of the show to catching it right when the intro song ended.
Oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever liked a show that much.
No kidding. I was really rooting for those reptiles. My PE teacher saw me blitzing home one evening and told me I had potential. She thought it was really funny, seeing this girl leave a trail of dust in her wake right out the gate like that. So, one thing led to another. I was introduced to Leaper, and here I am. I get to do what I love, for a living, and get to train with my heroes, and compete against the finest. See the world. Thank my lucky stars. I don't know where I'd be if I wasn't getting paid to compete. I won't squander this chance. Ever.
I'm sure you won't, love.
Tears welled up in Miss Meadows' eyes.
Bring that medal home.
No pressure.
By the way, how is your brother doing now? Carlos, was it?
He's fine now. Got over that cold surprisingly fast. More importantly, I didn't catch it.
You're all right now? You made it.
You're right. Thank you, miss. Seriously.
The light conversation that followed was aglow with joviality and triumph. Miss Meadows was proud of the young woman who graced her shop and smiled as she waved her goodbye. But once she left, the shop settled back into silence. The uncomfortable stillness could make one's ears ring.
Hmm?
Something caught Miss Meadows' eye in her antique mirror. In her entire life, nothing startled her worse than what she saw. Miss Meadows looked into the mirror and saw a stranger looking back. Outside it began to pour, and fog melted through the streets. Meadows looked longingly through the window of her shop. Her train of thought was cut short by a jingle of the door chime. And in walked a child, no older than 12.
Excuse me, miss. I lost my mummy. Have you seen her?
Meadows could not believe her eyes. The young girl was the spitting image of her friend Esme when she was a child. They could have been twins, she thought.
What's your name, young miss?
Grace. My name is Grace.
Well, Grace, I'm sure your mother's looking for you right now. How about you wait for her here? Better than waiting out there in the rain,
Okay.
Grace took a seat. Something she could not describe about this place reassured her. She felt safe here.
Would you like some tea?
I don't have any money.
Don't worry about it. It's a treat from me. What would you like?
I don't know. What is good?
I know what you would like. Give me just a moment. Here you go.
It is bitter, but I feel nice and warm.
Good. Chamomile helps you relax.
Can you add honey to it?
Of course, love. Let me bring you some.
Shortly after their brief exchange, Grace's mother found her daughter at the tea shop. The woman apologized for the inconvenience, and the two left unceremoniously.
Bye!
You all right?
Hi, Ollie.
What's new with you?
I finished the poem last night. Oh, I was hoping Esme would come today.
Listen, Matilda.
I know, Ollie.
Do you?
Yes. Esme is dead. Oh, Esme!
In grave lucidity, everything came flooding back. The hospital visits, the bouquets, the funeral, and a promise to write one more poem. She tried to trace back the memories to the moment she forgot it all, but found that the trail led nowhere. It was distressing, like coming back from an errand and finding your home unfurnished. Oliver comforted Miss Meadows as she sobbed on his shoulder until the tears dried up.
I remember getting the news on the phone years ago.
Oh, Matilda.
Oh, it was silly of me to think she'd come back. Some days I actually believed it.
I have to say, hearing you talk about her like she was still alive, it concerned me. Are you sure you're all right?
In all honesty, Ollie, I don't think I am. Just the other day, I looked in the mirror. Oh, it filled me with a sense of dread I didn't know existed. Like an uncanny stranger was staring back. I hated it. I expected growing old would slow me down, make me sleepier, but not this. Not fearing my own reflection, not thinking my dead friend was still here. I'm snapping at the seams, Ollie.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It feels good to finally admit it. God, I must be so useless right now.
Hey now, you're many things, Matilda, but you are not useless. I can't tell you how many young interns who worked at the news agency signed up because they read something you wrote. And those embezzled public funds, who blew the lid off them back in the day? So much good has come from your work. I was there with you, through it all. No amount of death threats, veiled or bold, could stop you. Even today, generations later, people get to enjoy the fruit of your labor.
Meadows recalled the young athlete's words from the day before.
Thank my lucky stars. I don't know where I'd be if I wasn't getting paid to compete.
You are just as much a hero as the great war reporters you admired as a girl. And I know what you're thinking. That was before. This is now. But Why else would people keep frequenting your shop? It's not just the tea, I'll tell you that. You are a godsend to every soul you touch. You always know exactly what to say. You tell people not what they want to hear, but what they always knew to be true deep down.
The jolly scientist's words rang in Miss Meadows' mind, clear as a sunny sky.
It's going to be hard to move on, knowing I can't be a regular here.
If you will hold onto one memory, let it be this. Your legacy will survive.
Oh, what good is a legacy, Ollie?
I'm still here, aren't I? I'm still waiting to read that poem you just finished. And God help me, it won't be your last one.
Thank you. You're a wonderful friend. You know, when I remembered what happened to Esme, all the pain came back. I cried as if I'd just found out about it for the first time. It's like I lost her all over again. In some strange way, that felt like a blessing. I got to grieve for her a second time. A woman like her deserves to be grieved twice.
You know what? Let's do it again. Tell me, Matilda, how did you start writing?
Oh, Ollie. You don't have to indulge me.
No, I would love to. Go on.
Well, you see, I was waiting for her in the park after school. It was a Friday.